Hello, and welcome to 5418 Virginia, here in the Dutchtown neighborhood of St. Louis. This house was built in 1908, and it typifies many of the architectural styles of that time. The brickwork on it is surprisingly ornate for a square house, basically. So, looking at the front, every opening has an archway. And then when we get inside the rooms, I'll be able to explain a little bit more about how those are actually done. There's a little bit of a trick to the eye on these. We don't actually have arched window openings. Around those, we have the arches and then a different type of brick with some almost pointed end caps to them. Looking back, we also have two different colors of brick, as well as a cement divider stone divider between the two. I think that's actually natural stone that divides the darker mottled brick from the red brick. And then as we look up at the top here, and I zoom in, you can see the detail on these corbels on this decorative front. Now, it's not really a gutter, that's just purely for decoration, because if you've watched some of the other videos, you'll notice that these houses drain the rainwater off to the rear. So coming inside, looking at the history, this house previously had been a two-family, but it really is better laid out as a single family. This layout honestly works very well for a single. It's a good floor plan for that, because it gives us one large open plan living room, dining room area, which gives us a good amount of flex space in here. Vinyl plank flooring. And this is the first clue this was a two-family, because we have a full bathroom downstairs. And that's all been remodeled. This kitchen is quite large as well. So not only is there a full wall with stove, refrigerator space, dishwasher, etc., there's also a massive island here that you could seat probably 5 or 6 people along if you needed to. It's got cabinets on both sides, so lots of cabinet space and storage space. We have 2 staircases. There's the rear staircase, which when we come outside will make sense. There's a little deck here. Parking pad. And then as we look back at the building, you can see where the other door would have been that went to the second floor. Obviously a walkout down there. And as we come back around, I'll take us upstairs through the front staircase. So remember those windows at the front, how the brickwork lined the archway itself. Because as we come into this upstairs bedroom, we'll get a good view of how they're actually constructed. So as you see when you look at this, there's actually a wooden formwork that goes around the inside of that. So the bricks, it's only the front layer of brick, face brick, which makes that archway. The other 2 courses of brick are squared off inside the wall cavity here, which gives us the look of a archway, but without having to have 3 courses of brick arched like that, which would be an engineering nightmare. So kind of a cool way they used to do things. Again, these are the original windows with wavy glass. This room itself, let me back up a little bit, is massive. Coming on down the hallway, we have the second bathroom here. This one has a shower stall. And then bedroom number 2. This is actually a fair-sized bedroom. It looks small. However, part of that is an effect of having the ceiling being as high as it is. With ceilings this high, it does kind of make it difficult to get the proportion on a room. But it's big enough for a queen bed to fit in there. Then here we have another generously sized bedroom. You can see we walk downstairs. This is the back stairs, and where this wall at the bottom is where that other back door would have been. Obviously, it's redundant now. There is a full basement. And in this era, when houses were built with old growth timber, you could get really long joists that span the entire width of the basement to allow open spaces. So that actually allows a much more usable space than if we had a column that had to run right down the very middle of the basement from one end to the other. So underneath here, there's probably still under the ductwork 6.5 to 7 feet, but then it's well over 7.5 feet to the top of the ceiling outside of the ductwork. So you could finish off this basement pretty easily and have a decent room here. Obviously, that involves finishing, waterproofing, and everything like that. But this basement does have scope to do that, whereas as you've seen in a lot of the videos, the ceiling height just doesn't allow it in many houses. A lot of the other work's been done. You can see, looks like a new stack. Shiny water heater plumbing, electrical panel. And this does have a split HVAC system. There's one downstairs and one in the bedrooms. And there's the laundry area here. And a walkout door. So each house, I'm hoping you're seeing another little tidbit of St. Louis history and trivia and design and architecture. Thank you very much, and please remember to like and subscribe.